Hi there everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. Today's reading is going to be how have their feelings changed. You have got three piles as usual. You've got Viking, Swedish horse or hen with chicks. If you want to take your choice and then we'll get going. Okay, right, pile number one. I've got a feeling here that you are not together. It feels like quite a big gap between you at the moment, as if there's distance, as if one person's walked away. This has got something to do, I guess, initially due to a feeling of instant recognition, and it's almost like immediately you both hit it off, or there was like a physical attraction that hit you in the face, hit them in the face, and their natural nature may be something that is quite cool, and it's taken them by storm with regards to their feelings towards you, and they've tried to cool themselves down a little bit, try to get back to what they think is probably how they would normally instinctually react rather than how they did when they were with you. You have got at the beginning here the karmic release card, and you have got the Six of Wands here. So this to me feels as it's like, where hey, that is got a bit more oomph behind it. It's like, where hey, I know you, that type of thing, like immediate attraction, and I feel like I know that person from somewhere else. And then you've got next to it the King of Swords, which to me feels like somebody who's either said a little bit too much or acted a little bit too much on the harp, and then maybe regretted it, as if they revealed a little bit too much of their feelings or the attraction. Then it goes into the Emperor card over here, and this is the central pile, which is the most important pile to me with regards to their feelings at the moment. And going from the King of Swords to the Emperor is a real step up with regards to control. The King of Swords is cool and it's part of their nature. The Emperor to me is stronger with regards to how they hold back their feelings, and this person here is walked away, or there's distance between you. It doesn't have to be a conscious decision to move away. And then you've got the Four of Pentacles here, and that to me is like binding or retracting or holding on to anything that could possibly be sensed out in some outward sense, if that makes sense. Sense. It's not, that's not bad. It just feels like somebody, for some particular reason, the Emperor card, every time I see it, because I'm thinking Capricorn and Aries, it makes me think of boss energy, because Capricorn likes to work their way to the top. Aries has the oomph to do it, and the guts to do it, and the drive to do it. And I'm sure Capricorn does as well, but both together, it's quite a formidable pairing, I suppose. So this could have work connotations with it as well, with the Hierophant twice with the Emperor card. It has this feeling like if it was different scenario, different situation. Let's just say you were, I was going to say 14, but let's just say you were 18 and out at a club and you'd had a couple of drinks and there was no boundaries. It would be big, it would be instant, it would be there, you would be talking and you'd be walking off together at the end of the night. But to me, it feels with the Emperor card and the King of Swords there's either something in the middle of you both, or this person has a cool nature anyway and doesn't like to let loose very easily. Now, it does get better. How have their feelings changed? It changes in the near future to the Ace of Wands, which is lovely because it feels like this person almost chucks away that feeling of control and replaces it with, I guess, maybe the Aries side with the Ace of Wands, of wanting to initiate things, wanting to get things started, and it's actually do it in the real life rather than just thinking about it. Ace of Wands to me feels a little bit, it's different to the Ace of Pentacles. It's like something both actually happen, but the Ace of Wands does it with a bit more gusto. But the Justice and Hierophant card here, being the major arcana, it's like gusto with polite control again to me. It's like it puts boundaries around it, and it puts what I guess is a feeling of a sociably acceptable veneer altogether here. So if there is a situation between the pair of you where there's distance at the moment, and this distance may have something to do with being socially acceptable, or perhaps the person's nature, it's like they do reach out for you. There's something there that gets going that makes you feel good, possibly gets back to this feeling here of, I guess, a physical pull with the Ace of Wands here, but it's still slightly controlled. It's still trying not to overstep the boundaries for some reason. There could be other people involved, because you've got the Hierophant down here and the Five of Wands and the Queen of Swords. That could be, doesn't scream to me of third party, but with the Queen of Swords there next to the Five of Wands, that's a lot of people involved in a contentious issue. Queen of Wands is crying, the Hierophant is restriction. So there is something in between the pair of you, some sort of, it feels as if somebody's locked the door and had to put the key underneath the mat, and it's there for some reason for quite a while, and it's like somebody here as their feelings, okay, I was going to say gets the key out and it all starts opening up again, but I'm trying to go back to the question without getting too stuck in the cards with regards to their feelings. Oftentimes I do that where I get lost in the cards and forget what the actual question was. How have their feelings changed? It feels initially like in some way you've taken their breath away. It feels like a meeting or a recognition where it hits you in the middle of your chest, and it almost like it ticks a box with regards to what that person's ideal is. And people's ideals, I think, change. I do think they change, and a lot of it depends on who loved you last or who you loved last, or it just does. It's quite mutable in some ways, but for some reason, I don't know what particular reason about you, it's like this person's seen you, it's like deja vu with complete attraction initially, and then it's turned with regards to their feelings towards you. It's as if they've turned their back and they've closed off, and there's some restriction here where this person's trying to come off as if they're like kingpin in some way, as if they are all together and don't need anybody and don't want to show too much feeling, because that's just not who they are. But I think there's a strong physical feel between the pair of you. With the Ace of Wands here and the Justice card here and the Hierophant card here, it's as if in some sort of very obvious way their feelings start changing, but it's all within boundaries. It's like they don't know how much you're going to actually see of it. You have got cards here. The Hierophant twice and the Emperor card, as I said earlier. If it's not like a work situation or with lots of people around where it's probably uncomfortable to show your feelings, this person possibly might have I was going to say might have issues with revealing their feelings there. It feels to me like an office situation. It doesn't have to be the office, you can change it, where somebody new started or you've been introduced to each other and you've hit it off straight away. And there's like the type of person where this person goes home and it overwhelms them in some way. They're thinking about you, they want to somehow get closer to you, know more about you. And then it's like you've come in the second time or the third time and they've been quite cool with you, and then you've not seen them for a while. It feels like that. It doesn't have to be an office situation. And when you email them or try and contact them over something that may be trivial, there's lots of other people involved, and you're getting slight bits back, but nothing emotional. There's no sort of they're not showing their feelings whatsoever. I think that will change in the near future. It's like opening the door, like a crack is opening, and then you both start almost going back to this first pile here, which is the past of what I guess is a really strong physical pull. But it's within boundaries. It doesn't go over the line. It's not like this person is going to come running into you and declare undying love. It's just the feeling that this person almost opens up and lets you know what they're feeling. But to me, it feels like without saying anything. It's like they're talking to you, but nobody else can understand your language here. because there are other people around, I think. And I think at the moment, with the Queen of Swords down here with tears, and this person coming across as so controlled at the moment, that it's painful for you. It feels like you've given out, you've recognised you've given out, and they've cut off, which is, quite, I think, to be honest, quite common. It's like people get afraid with how their feelings start tumbling away with them, so they retract back to what they feel comfortable in, which is possibly just functioning in life without expressing themselves too much in case it hurts, which I know isn't fair. And I know so many of you leave comments like, I wish it was different. But people just are different. It doesn't mean they don't love deeply. It doesn't mean they don't love at all. It's just a case that some people do it in different ways. Some people are very expressive with their feelings. This person, to me, with the King of Swords, the Emperor card here, and the Hierophant twice, and the Justice to some extent, Libra, very charming, but not gushing in any way. You've got 2 air cards there, so your person very much could be a Libra, Aquarius feel about it, but there's that Aries and Capricorn too there. More so than the Taurus, I get a feeling here. So, how have their feelings changed? Pile number 1. Initially, huge attraction and that deja vu feeling. They've met somebody that they've been with before. Then at the moment, I guess their feelings are still there, but you're not getting anything of it because they're struggling with themselves. There's possibly other people involved, and a situation which is probably calling for some sort of control. It's like you're being watched, as eyes upon the pair of you. And in the near future, it feels like there's a loosening up with regards to their feelings, and I think that you get to know more of it. It almost bounces back to this initial recognition, and it's like expression of attraction, but still within acceptable boundaries. And I don't know what those acceptable boundaries are, but to me, it feels like there's something around you, people or a particular situation, which doesn't really, and there could be just plain separation here with this card, but it doesn't allow for easy expression. There's a strong physical feel here. And there's this feeling here as well that I think that you both know that you're attracted to each other, and it makes the other person feel good, and probably you as well. It makes them feel more attractive. It's the type of person that you may not even know about it, that goes out and buys new clothes just because they're thinking of you. I know that sounds silly, but that's what it possibly feels like. When somebody starts seeing themselves in a different light, they haven't perhaps changed their hairstyle or changed their clothes for a while, and it feels like there's distance between you, but your effect is still playing upon them in some way, because it comes and kicks back in again later. And the Hierophant, and the Hierophant twice again, and the Emperor, which I keep ranting on about, does have a feeling of somebody who looks good and likes to look good. It's like somebody who takes care of how they dress or how they appear. They don't like to lose control, I think. All right, let's have a look for advice for you in this situation. So at the moment, their feelings are there, they're restricted, they're controlled, there's lots of people around, there's a situation which possibly isn't easy to express their feelings in the near future. The door opens up, it feels very physical, but it's still got an air of what I guess is politeness around it. Politeness and doing the right thing rather than declaring their attraction towards you, probably. Advice for you. Okay, your advice is probably to be very practical and very cool. If it's a work situation, it's like do your job really well, keep your head down, and look like you're not bothered. And I'm wondering, with the King of Pentacles down here for advice, and you've got the Seven of Wands, whether it's with this person's feeling of fear with expressing their feelings, it's almost like you could possibly get more out of them if you weren't too open with yours, which I'm not advocating. That's a great idea. I'm just trying to read these cards here, because I think a lot of the time You know, it's nicer to be honest and to express it even if you don't think it's going to be accepted. So I'm not saying that's a good idea, but that's how I'm interpreting these cards. The King of Pentacles is very earthy, very controlled. You've got a defensive card here where you're almost like batting people off or batting the situation off. And you've got the Three of Pentacles here, which is like working. It's like head down working as part of a team. So it's almost, to me, it's saying like, it's not opening that door, it's not helping the door to open, it's just being yourself and almost ignoring things. Let me put some more on. Why is your person so stiff? Why is your person so stiff? What are they doing? There is honestly a feeling here of slight stiffness. If you look at these, this is the power that's most important. You've got the Emperor. Look at him. Could be her. You've got turning your back and you've got holding on. So it's not like it doesn't have a feeling that there's disinterest. It's a feeling of, I can keep control of myself. I'm not going to show anything. And I'm wondering why they're doing that. And then their feelings change to what I guess is, as I've said a few times here with the Ace of Wands, more expressive with regards to doing something. But then you've got these big cards underneath that are still controlled. So okay, this person's trying to be fair in a situation. They're trying to do something that they think is probably the gentlemanly thing to do or the ladylike thing to do, because the Queen of Wands slapped between a card which is trying to find balance, and you've got it over here, and you've got on this side the Seven of Swords, which is doing things that possibly feel unjust, unfair, or maybe just wrong timing, or doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. So this person possibly has quite a passionate nature. It may be somebody who you almost expect the Strength card to be in here, who's very good at maintaining their passions. And that's part of something they may have done in their life, controlled their innermost rumblings to function in a way. It has a feeling here of somebody who's got a passionate nature, who doesn't let that out for everybody or anybody, and in some way feels as if there's some sort of distaste with doing so. Because you get the feeling of somebody who's strong and physical, but you've got here closed off, and you've got surrounded by people, and you've got tradition. So I just get the feeling here that if you were to open up more, this person may become it's like turning on the tap too much, and this person may fear what's going to start flowing. So it's like when I say these things, I don't think it's the correct thing to do. I'm just trying to read the cards. It's almost as if they want to keep the flow, not anybody else, which is a control issue. So that's why I'm not saying it's a good idea for you to pay any attention to what I'm saying. I'm just trying to see what I can see and see if it rings true for you. All right, let's have a look at the people surrounding. There's a possibility here that your person may be fresh out of a relationship. There's a possibility here that there's a really strong feeling here with the Lovers and the Judgment card over here, with a Karmic card and the recognition and the coolness that, as I said earlier, with these cards all together, it feels as if you've got this person and it feels as if they feel like they're going to lose control, which is a strange thing to say. And I'm just thinking of people like with the Pluto opposition, Pluto square, Moon, Sun type of feeling here, that they don't like to be rushed. They don't like to feel out of control in any way, shape or form. And it feels like fear. And there's a fear here of losing as well. There's a fear here of possibly, if there's distance here, there's a controlled issue here, or a control issue of not wanting to admit that they've lost you because it hurts. or that you're not together, because then they would have to admit to themselves that there's something that they can't have, which I don't think they would like with this feeling here. Yeah, I've said this in a couple of readings. This person seems to have that big daddy feel about them, where they, you know, it feels quite masculine. It doesn't have to be male, but there's that feeling of somebody who laughs and jokes with friends, and then is either with a group of girls, and is laughing and joking, and then with you it's slightly different relationship. Or whether it's a guy, it's like, you know, that type of person. It feels like a group situation with regards to them, where they may be quite laddish in some way, or they may enjoy a particular group setting. And then with regards to relationships, it doesn't really matter about sex, to be honest. There's a feeling that their personality changes. They see relationships as separate from their everyday workings. And, you know, that type of feeling, like somebody who's like an only child, or somebody who hasn't had, I can't really explain it. They treat relationships different from, they almost change personality. You know, when you put your telephone voice on, when you answer the phone, like, hello, it's that type of feeling, as if they're slightly different in relationships and they don't express themselves very freely. And with regards to you, it feels like there's distance and they don't want to lose control. They're almost putting on what I guess is a polite exterior and a controlled exterior. But in some way, you may be helping this person open up a little bit, because it feels like they do. So to summarise that pile number 1, how have their feelings changed? Initial attraction, immediate attraction, which turns into control and distance and worrying what people think possibly. And it being different from their normal personality. The way that you make them feel isn't always the way that they feel comfortable acting out, if you know what I mean here. And the Ace of Wands, it's like that key, it's like something opening up, and you start almost, it's like a Chiron feeling of opening up parts themselves, and it almost feels like a healing feeling, but it's very sort of tepid. It drip feeds it into it, as if, oh. Ace of Wands isn't drip feeding, but the Justice and the Hierophant here makes me feel that it's coming out slowly. To me, it almost turns the Ace of Wands into Ace of Pentacles. It's like still a start, but it's controlled start. This person, I think, wants to make the moves. This person feels more at home with making the moves. You know, if that sounds absolutely revolting for you, and you don't want somebody with control or has control issues, which could very much be the case, and I wouldn't blame you, but there's still a little feeling here of that you could be, and don't mean ever heal anybody, because they need to heal themselves. It's you could be almost like the key that unlocks a little bit of healing in themselves. And I'm definitely not saying, you know, if it doesn't feel right to you and you're bored with this person who isn't doing anything, then these cards over here are basically keep your head down, keep going. Keep going. Okay, I don't know if that feels right, pile number 1, but that's what I'm getting for that pile. Thank you very much. Bye. Your person, pile number 2, your person, I was going to say hi Swedish horses then, but your person seems to have what I guess is excitement about you. There's a feeling of excitement. There's a feeling of excitement. There's a feeling of falling in love. And this is at the moment, this central part is at the moment. You've got the Lovers, you've got the Queen of Cups, you've got the Fool. It feels like almost, I'm not going to say love at first sight, but there's that feeling when you fall for somebody and it overtakes your mind, you don't think of much else. It feels like somebody, when they look at themselves in the mirror, they're wondering what you think they look like. That type of feeling. You've got the Ace of Cups at the bottom, you've got the Moon. I don't think your person is really sure where they stand with you, but it feels like they want to make a move or take a chance, or it's somebody who's doing what I guess is a lot of fantasizing and trying to understand the situation to see which way to go. Initially, you've got the Three of Wands, and you've got, this possibly could be a group situation with the Three of Wands and the This is a strange Three of Wands because it doesn't have the normal meaning, but they're all bound together and it feels like the Three of Pentacles to me. But the Three of Wands with the Six of Wands, it could be you could have worked together, you could have been in a group situation, friendship group together, and there's distance between that friendship group and you're wondering whether they're going to contact you again, that type of feeling. If the Three of Wands could also be a situation that got off to a good start, but something came between you and you moved away. And this person has what I guess is idealistic feelings about you. Hey, it feels as if they're doing a lot of thinking, a lot of trying to decide how to contact you, what to do next, what move they want to make next. It feels like I'm going to say genteel feeling about it with the Queen of Cups. And the Fool again, the Queen of Cups and Uranus. Uranus is given, I think, sometimes a bit of a bad rep because it is quite a sharp planet, because it's quite direct, but it's also very honest. It's also a planet with the Queen of Cups and Uranus makes me think of Cancer, Aquarius. It's quite a sweet feeling of somebody who gently states what they're thinking, what they're feeling. And that feeling here is quite, because you've got the Knight of Swords down here. I'm trying to think how people like that would react to feeling like this. It's like somebody who very quietly states, I'm really attracted to you. Or says to their friends, I've met this man or this woman and they really do get me. There's something about them I can't get off my mind. But it's like confusion. It may be somebody who likes to discuss you a lot with other people here, because you've got the Ace of Cups and the Moon, and that with these sort of airy cards is somebody who may have difficulty understanding the pull. Now, that's not demeaning to you in any way. It's just a case of somebody that likes to talk through things. It's like, asking questions about you. Where does this person work? When was the last time you saw them? It's that type of thing where their ears are on stalks. Yeah, their ears are on stalks with regards to your whereabouts, what you're up to. And they're trying to work out logically something that feels impetuous and quite beautiful. And I wonder whether they are an air sign here, because you have got the Knight of Swords here, you have got the Fool card here, and the Lovers is Gemini, Aquarius, so there may be that feeling. And I think sometimes we underestimate, I'm not saying it's because I'm a Gemini, but I think sometimes we underestimate the fact that, people, you expect people who fall in love in a grand way, like a Scorpio, or Cancer in a very gentle but grand way, that some people love more than others. I don't think that is so. I don't think that is so. It just feels like when people fall in love, in this pile in particular, they just do it the way that they know how, and that's it. That's the way they probably were loved by their mothers or their fathers, and so that feels exactly right for them. And it feels like excitement, it feels like indecision with regards to their feelings towards you at the moment, and it feels very sweet and open and honest. Now, it does move on to what feels like scorpionic, to be honest. You have got the Five of Swords here with the Judgment card here. So that is a bit of antagonism, backing backwards and forwards. Like it turns into, because you've got the Lovers card here, which is almost like making decisions with regards to love, and then you've got what seems to be a bit of a fight on. It feels as if it turns more passionate. It feels as if you've got the Queen of Cups here changing to the the Queen of Wands. It feels as if the physicality in this relationship and the regards to their feelings towards you becomes more apparent. Here it feels sweet. It feels like somebody that's fallen for you, genuinely just like fallen in love with you. And then here it feels like it starts becoming more physical, and there's a bit of batting back and forth with regards to expression of physical needs in some way. There's a feeling here that just crops into my mind of finding time or finding the place. So I don't know whether this, I don't know whether that applies at all. So, how have their feelings changed? Initially, a feeling of recognition, of you making them feel good, vice versa, but there's some separation here in the past. You could have worked together. You could have played together. You could have been in a friendship together. It could have just been something with the Three of Wands there that got off to a good start. And now this person is waiting to see what's going to happen next. They've fallen for you. I would say head over heels with the Fool and the Lovers card there. But it's got with the Queen of Cups a very sort of sweet, genteel feeling about it, where they actually probably just want to express their feelings, because expression is a big part of this as well. They don't understand where they sit in the relationship. They don't understand whether their affection will be accepted by you, and then it turns into feels a bit fighty over here on the right, which to me the Judgment card here feels scorpionic. I know the Scorpios at the top there, but the Judgment card here, and the Queen of Wands, which changes from emotions to what I guess is a physical feel. It feels like eros, like creative physicality here. It feels like a bit of, do you know, like an image of, if you know each other, there's a lot of strutting going on. There's a lot of making sure your body looks good in certain positions. It does feel a little bit like that. It feels a little bit more sexy, but also a little bit more like, it feels posing for some reason. It's like this person's strutting around and they've almost like hammed you up, and they're letting you see them. And so there's a bit of strutting going on. There's a bit of, I was going to say putting aftershave on, but I don't know about that. I'm not talking about allspice here, but there is a feeling here that it goes from immediate, or not immediate actually, it goes from falling for somebody. It could be immediate with a Fool there, but it just happens and it feels good and it runs away with you, and then it turns into, how am I going to let this person see me? It feels like somebody who makes sure that they're around where you are and they're looking their best, smelling their best, and being their most polite, beautiful self. But there's something quite antagonizing about it. It's like they're playing with you, not because they want to play with you, because they want you to see them. And this isn't regard to feelings. Feelings are probably slightly competitive, to be honest here. It feels a little bit more like the stakes are higher. It's like if you let them down or you're not attracted to them, it's going to hurt. And they're almost like playing with what feels like it's like raw emotions or magnetic pull type of thing. This is not playing. Their feelings at the moment are not playing. Their feelings are trying to be worked out inside themselves with regards to where they go next with it. It feels like a puppy that's fallen in love, doesn't know how to express it. Very sweet-natured person who's trying to decide. It feels lovesick, to be honest, in the middle. And then it turns to, I'm not going to let them see that. I'm going to do a bit of strutting and make sure they feel the same. It has, as I said earlier, a plutonic feeling of protecting feelings and making sure that you're not burnt at any expense here. And it has a feeling here that actually helps because it feels as if it turns more physical. It feels as if it's more passionate as it moves on. So to sum that up, pile number 2, group situation at the beginning regards their feelings, seeing you as part of a group, you both make each other feel good, or seeing yourselves in a situation there's lots of people around, and then there's probably walking away distance, they may not have seen you for a while. In the meantime, this person has basically turned you into a god or a goddess in some way. And they're trying to decide, and they're probably trying to streamline their emotions into something that feels a little bit more controlled. Not in that the first pile, but more in a case of they know their feelings and their imagination, their fantasies have run wild with them. They're enjoying it, but they know that it's not real. But that doesn't stop them actually peacocking around later on. So you may get next meeting with regards to their feelings. It may seem like they don't care. There's a lot of strutting or peacocking around the place, but this person, with regards to their feelings towards you, they feel like they've fallen for you. They're just trying to protect themselves. So don't laugh too hard if you see them again. Okay, right, I'm going to finish there, pile number 2. I wish you the best. Bye. Number 3, Congratulations if you actually picked the ugly chicken. I was thinking as it was sitting there that nobody's going to pick that because it just looked like an ugly spot. If you have and you like to support the underdog, well done, because your pile is absolutely gorgeous. You have got a feeling here of a really strong karmic pull, you know, like somebody who you just feel right with, somebody who you recognize, somebody who you just settle with and it's easy to talk to, even if there's fear before you see them, because I guess there is with this feeling, possibly depends on your personality, of it, you being out of your depth. It feels as if this person may take your breath away, and their feelings towards you must be the same. You've got at the beginning the King of Wands, which to me feels like, and I'm looking at the pictures as well as just the typical meaning of the King of Wands, it feels like somebody whose their feelings towards you are quite straightforward. They feel as if they're quite proud of themselves and the way that they come across. So this person gives me the impression that when you met, they stood very straight and they were very direct and open. This person feels as if there's been quite an everyday concrete reactions between the pair of you, or situations between the pair of you. Reactions was the wrong word, but it feels like home. It feels like there's been a connection where you're doing things together and you just feel like buddies, and it feels as if there's pride between the pair of you, where you're not going to make the situation silly, you're not going to show yourselves up. It feels as if there's a connection here that feels like ease. It feels like it could be many connections in one. For instance, it feels like brother and sisters and lovers and, you know, husband and wife, and that type of feeling where there's a lot of depth to this. There's a lot of, it's very layered, this feeling here with this relationship here. You've got in the centre for their feelings at the moment is the recognition of there being more than an everyday attraction. There's recognition of wanting to do things to get towards you. There's a recognition here of it feeling right. There's like love, there's, and it almost feels as if it's running away with them as well in some way. And it feels like they've got to almost, with the Chariot card and the Starseed card there, it's almost like they've got to raise their game a bit to be with you. And you've got the Ace of Wands here, and this pile is beautiful. You've got a feeling here that this person possibly feels like you're like nobody else they've ever met before. It feels like you're bringing parts out of themselves that they didn't even know that they had. I don't mean that in that way. It just feels as if it feels like they've got self-esteem issues, to be honest. But when they're with you, they don't have them. It feels like when they're with you, it's like natural. They can be themselves. They don't have to put an act on. And I've never ever said this in a reading before. So take this with a pinch of salt, because it can't apply to everybody. But I'm going to say it anyway, because if I say really rough stuff as well, the nice stuff must go with it here. You've got a feeling here that this turns into a really strong commitment. It feels like love, marriage. You've got karmic soul, you've got the Ten of Pentacles, you've got the Queen of Cups here. This feels like a grand meeting where people start actually nurturing each other and it feels easy. It feels like the connection, it feels like sweet, it feels like it's meant to be. So this person's feelings towards you started off, I guess, with, there's no defensiveness in this. There's lack of self-esteem on their point and the way they express themselves. But this person feels like they're working their way back to you, baby. It does a little bit here. You've got the Eight of Pentacles here, and you've got the King of Wands and the Six of Cups here. So in the past, it feels like you possibly could have spent time together, and it feels like you've conversed without feeling, I guess, nerves or jealousy or any of those reactions or behaviours that feel uncomfortable. It just feels like easy. And it feels like you both stood up straight, talking to each other, very direct, very open. And in those moments, you're thinking, I'm attracted to you. You know, it does feel like you're one of my type here. And then it does feel like you're one of their type. Their feelings at the moment are straightforward everything. Straightforward attraction, straightforward trying to sort themselves out, straightforward recognition of the way that you come across emotionally. It feels like moon synastry is the way that they want to react back. And the Ace of Wands is physical attraction. This, to me, this whole pile is probably the best pile I've had for a long time, where it feels like you're the whole package. And it doesn't really matter which pile comes first, second or third. It feels like this person has a huge attraction to you, and it feels natural, and it feels like it's got, it could go somewhere. But there is a strong feeling, because amongst these beautiful cards slapped between the Seven of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, and I suppose unless you're about 12 years old, most relationships have complications. The complications seem outside the relationship. The complications seem elsewhere in this relationship that has a feeling of possibly doing something that may feel underhand to what I guess is two people with strong moral compass, or a case of probably both, self-esteem issues with not actually measuring up. And I wonder whether that is what true soulmates are. People that bring the best out of yourself or let you grow. I guess that must be it. That's, to me, what it feels like. It feels like, this does feel like soulmates or twin souls. I don't even know the terms. Is it that? It does feel like somebody, you both come together to make each other better. And it feels like this, the karmic soul and these cards here, that you help each other out. You make each other feel good. And you bring the best out in each other. So, pile number 3. How have their feelings changed? They haven't really. They're fantastic all the way through. I don't know what's going on the sidelines, but this person's feelings towards you, past, present, future, are beautiful. If this person hasn't expressed their feelings towards you, the reason I'm thinking has got nothing to do with how they perceive you or their feelings towards you at all. It's got more to do with what I guess is to be termed tying loose ends. There's something there that is in the way of getting closer. It's got to be with these cards slammed in between. Beautiful cards here. This pile feels like you need to spend time together, as if there was somebody above you saying, put these two together for a long period of time, because they're going to make each other better. They're going to make each other feel good. Life isn't always feeling good, is it? And it's not all cha-cha. Most of the time, and in relationships, and this relationship too, you go through dips and it's difficult, but this feels like you get more out of it than you lose. For both of you, and their feelings towards you, as if they know this, as if this person has, I guess, quite a mature feeling about them, and wants to work, and it wants to pull parts of themselves together they don't agree with. It's emotions and a physical pull towards you. It's like somebody that they've fallen for, somebody they daydream about, somebody in an almost childlike way. If they're cooking something, they would be wondering, would you like to taste it? What would the so-and-so think of this? And it feels as well, if you're watching something on TV, when people are having a bit of sexy time on TV, they would be thinking of you. Sexy time. Oh. I don't think I've got anything else to say about that, but it just feels natural. It feels natural to them. Their attraction towards you, their feelings towards you, I don't think have changed from the moment they met you to now and in the near future. It feels like there needs a lot to come between you two to possibly disrupt this, because it feels like, even if life circumstances get in the way, this person's feelings are solid and they're good. Well, they're actually beautiful, to be honest, more than good. Okay, pile number 3. I'm going to leave you there and congratulate you on picking Ugly Chicken. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.